Hi everybody, Coach I am Nava here once again, and in today's video, we're gonna study the Game Happened Championship in the last January 7, 2025, titled Tuesday, between the two fighters, Alireza Firouzja of France and Grigory Oparin of USA. Firouzja handles the white pieces, so let's get started. Alireza played e4, Grigori played e5, knight f3, knight c6. We have bishop c4 and knight f6, attacking the pawn on e4. Of course, white needs to protect it, and bishop e7. So Oparin decided to go under the Italian game rather than the most common move, bishop c5, belongs to the Gyoko piano. Now, bishop e7, castles, and knight c3, simply to develop the pieces. d6, to give opportunity for the light squared bishop to develop. a4, so what is the idea behind it? To prevent the coming b5? Nope. In preparation for the coming possibility of knight a5, hunting the light squared bishop. So, in order to have the escape square to a2 to maintain the strong pressure diagonal there. So that's the idea behind a4. And now bishop e6, and Oparin tries to eliminate the light squared bishop, but Firouzja went knight d5. He doesn't like to capture the bishop because it favors the black center, and of course with additional power along the f file for black, so it favors the black pieces. So let's go back with the knight d5, and simply moves up the queen d7, connect the rooks. So very basic principle in the opening. c3, simply to control the d4 and b4 squares. And I think for me, it's a typical move pattern along the Italian and Gyoko piano patterns. But based on the chess.com opening database, c3 was the novelty of this game. According to the old lines, white tries the move a5 and rook e1 already. Okay, so let's go back with the c3 novelty. Rook a e8, simply to develop towards the center, and in preparation for the future attack towards the center. And now a5, all right, taking advantage on the one square space in the queen side. Now a6, of course, black has to stop the coming a6. Okay, so grabbing too much space in the queen side. So that's why Oparin decided to play a6. Now queen to b3, attacking the pawn on b7. Now knight d8 to support it. And now knight takes f6, bishop takes f6, and then bishop e3. So after moving up the bishop, it connects the rook freely. So very nice for white space. And now g6, the idea is to play bishop g7. Then it follows with f5. Now h3. Okay, so releases one of the weak point in the white side, the back rank. Additional square for the king, and also later on to prevent the coming bishop g4. Now bishop g7. So yeah, in preparation for the coming f5. Now rook fe1, preparing the great control in the center. Now h6. So what's the idea behind h6? So to prevent the coming knight g5 that annoys the bishop on e6. So that's why he played h6 first. Now d4. All right, d4. So I really like in this position the coming rook a d1 to pressure the queen on d7. Now bishop takes c4, queen takes c4, and we have knight c6. So Grigori went back to c6, but it says bad move according to computer engine. So better was e takes d4, bishop takes d4, and rook e7. Okay, then simply followed by a rook f e8, double up the battery towards the e file, or attacking the e4 pawn. So it's gonna be equal. But let's go back with knight c6. Then we have d5, knight e7, and knight d2. Okay, so knight d2, maybe he is seeking for the right maneuver to place the knight in a much better square and control. Now f5, then f3. Yeah, got it. So I got it, the point of knight d2. So the idea is to play f3. So obviously, do not capture the pawn on f5. It favors a lot for the black space in the king side and attacking chances. So after g takes f5, controls the e4 square, and of course, black has the immediate f4. So let's say f3 here and king h7. It follows with rook g8, and now black is going to concentrate along the g file attacking process. So that's why you have to maintain the f5 there, and you should play f3 here. And then now Grigori goes to f4, bishop f2, then g5. So with the idea to play h5, knight g6, g4, and these are the moves typically under the King's Indian idea for black. Now, queen b3, so he went back again to attack the b7 and simply rook b8 to support it, and c4. Of course, white needs, or white seeks a counter attack like c5, knight c4, now h5, c5, g4. And hg4, and now king f1. All right, so it says bad move. Why bad move? So better was, according to computer engine, the continuation is simply f takes g4 to take the pawn. Then let's say queen takes g4, then white has takes, and then queen to f3. All right, to block the possibilities for black to play f3 later on, and it's gonna be very dangerous for white. So queen f3, then of course the black queen has to move away to avoid simplification. Let's say queen d7, and now knight c4. And according to the evaluation, it gives plus for white. Yeah, and that's the move has been missed by Alireza Firouzja, and he went king f1. Now knight g6, c takes d6, c takes d6, and knight c4. Now bishop f6, king e2. Immediately Alireza alerts for the coming possibilities to attack the king side. So rook f7, okay, to protect the 7th trunk. Or maybe rook f7, the idea is to play rook g7 or rook h7, something like that. But it receives bad move by computer engine. So better was king g7. Okay, I think with the same idea to play rook h8, according to the computer. So let's go back with rook f7 and then rook h1. So to control first the h file, and now g3 and bishop a7 to attack the rook on b8 first, rook bf8, and queen b4. Again, to attack the d6, knight h4. Instead of protecting the d6 here, he went knight h4 to counter attack on g2. So yeah, so I think this g2 pawn is more vital. And Alireza went rook ag1 to protect the pawn. And it says something like he missed a very nice move, knight takes d6. And let's say bishop e7 and then bishop c5. So nothing to worry about the pin because of bishop c5. And let's say rook h7 and then bishop c5. Now knight takes pawn and we have knight f5. So white has sufficient counterplay, counter ideas. But it looks scary for white, of course, because after removing the pawn on g2, something like it bothers to your mind the coming g2. Yeah, it's very annoying, actually, in the human side, in the human perspective. But let's go back with this rook ag1 to support the pawn first. Now bishop e7. On time, yeah, that would be the best protection for the d6. Now king d3, rook h7, bishop b6. What's the idea? Rook c8, knight d2. So where do you put the knight there? Knight f1 or knight b1, knight c3? Okay, queen e8, then queen b3. Now, I don't get the point of Firouzja's idea at this point. Sorry guys. King g7, king e2. Or maybe he wants to play faster to get more time. King g6, knight c4. All right, so he went back to c4 again, but it says bad move. Okay, according to computer, king d3 is the simple move to maintain the equality. But let's go back with knight c4. Queen d7. All right, Grigory Oparin missed the important move, queen to b5. All right, with tempo. So okay, white is forced to take the queen, a takes b5, and let's say knight d2 and b4. Yeah, knight b5, there's nothing there, but rook c2 is very vital. Okay, so after knight d2, then rook c2. Yeah, something like that, etc., etc. And black is totally winning. But let's go back to the reality. Oparin played queen d7 and Firouzja played queen d3. So due to time trouble, so we can never tell the both sides are in deep trouble. So that's why they played the bad moves. But according to computer, king d3 was better. All right. So let's go back with queen d3. Queen b5, b3, queen b4, rook h3. So another bad move. Better was queen c2. Okay, just simply waiting move. Okay, but it's quite hard to find under the time trouble. So rook h3, rook ch8. So black missed the move bishop d8 to eliminate the bishop. So rook ch8, and now we have knight d2, another inaccuracy. Better was king d1, maybe followed with king c2. Something like that. But it's quite hard to look that move or to see that move. So knight d2, rook c8. With the idea to play rook c3, so white has to cover it. And rook ch8 again. So bad move. So better was bishop d8. Now knight d2, rook c8 again. Okay, so at this point, maybe Oparin is likely to accept the draw by threefold repetition. But Alireza, surprisingly, played a different move. Rook gh1. Okay, so he wants to play on and he doesn't like the draw results. Now, rook ch8. Again, Oparin missed the strong move. Rook c3. Now, after queen b1, then simply rook h8. Okay, so black is totally winning due to the whites exposed, too much exposed in this position. So let's go back with rook h8 again and knight c4. So blunderacious move, as we called as that. Blunder as blunderacious. Something like, that is my own term. Blundered, but it's delicious. Blunderacious. So here, better was rook g1 again to support the pawn on g2. So let's go back with knight c4. And that is the time, the right timing to capture the pawn on g2. So that's the point that Firouzja misses. So rook takes h7, rook h7. So he cannot capture the rook on h7 due to the one move mate coming slides down to e1. So, rook h7, king takes h7. Woo! I thought Oparin seen this move ahead of time. Queen e1. Okay, but he captured the rook on h7, and surprisingly, Oparin played king takes h7. So, one miss move, one move mate. King takes h7, king f1, knight h4, but still winning though. Bishop g1, bishop d8, queen c2. Bishop takes a5, knight takes a5, queen takes a5. And here, Firouzja lost on time. Wow. What a great championship game. So between these two fighters. So now let us see the final results of this very strong field of fighters around the world. So Gregory gets the gold medal, and David Anton of Spain, the silver medalist, and Magnus Carlsen, the world number one, gets the bronze medal. All right, and look at the strong lineup. Hans Smoke Niemann is here, number 6. Alireza Firouzja goes down with number 7 spot. And Jan Nepo with number 13. And yeah, over 654 titled players has been played there. All right, thank you so much, guys. And this is our video for today. I hope you learned and enjoy this game. And if you do like this video, please have a thumbs up, heart, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and click the notification bell all so that all of our upcoming videos will notify you. So thank you so much. I'll see you next time.